I love to text that way too. So about your take.
Dad, you're so lame.
So could you give me another $20 because the $50 you gave me is not enough. So
the Giants are so freaking boring.
Well, that's just true. So, Willard, there's a problem with your take. Isn't Flacco backing up Zach Wilson? Just saying. Big name backup. We got a so and a just saying in the same text. Ba-bow.
Is there a G on the end of the saying, or is it just saying?
No, there's actually a G.
Oh, okay.
So we no slang. But thank you, 415. And so there's a big problem with your text. Joe Flacco's not a big name anymore. He's at the end of his career. That's completely different with a different organization and a different player. But Joe Flacco, back in that day with the Ravens, was a former Super Bowl winning quarterback with some of the same teammates who had the ring with him. And so when Lamar got the job, bye-bye, Joe. Thanks. We can't have you in here because what if Lamar struggles? The teammates are going to start to whisper. So I guess that's the only point. There's nothing. I don't ever want any of this conversation to go to Trey. It's really, in an odd way, about the play on the field. It's not about him. It's about the team, the decision they made, the presence that is Jimmy. It's not about, like, Trey can't do anything wrong here. He can just go shoot his shot. He can be as good of a player as he can be, and we'll see what that is. And if it's good enough, awesome. And if it's not, then there's going to have to be a pivot. But I wonder, I've been wanting to ask you this since you walked out of here 2 days ago. You don't disagree with this, do you?
I do. Okay.
This isn't great for Trey.
There's
you don't think this is good for him, do you?
There's a lot of different ways you can shape this, for sure. I mean, it could go a lot of different directions, really. Ultimately, there's a race. Anytime any quarterback jumps into the NFL, and the race, and this was explained to me years ago, the race is, can you learn what to do, come up to speed, adjust to the speed of the game, and settle in before your body gets beaten up by the hits that you take from the incredibly athletic, powerful, explosive defenders that reside in this league. So, yeah, if he sat this year instead of getting his butt kicked, and that saved him from, blowing out his knee or breaking his clavicle or separating his throwing shoulder, things like that potentially could have long-term, that would be diminished on the back end, then in that case, it would help him. But overall, I also think competition is a positive. Just because he may not play that many games this year, as many as we want to see him play, but Alex Smith was drafted, first pick in the 2005 draft. He became a 3-time Pro Bowler. I think his first Pro Bowl was like 2013.
Right.
So it took a while. I'm not saying it's going to be the same deal, but it doesn't, just because Trey may not be good this year, and I'm just saying he may not be good, he may be great, but if he may not be good this year, but it doesn't mean that he's not going to be a future Pro Bowl quarterback, and it wasn't a hell of a pick and maybe the best pick of the quarterbacks in the last draft.
I'll agree with that. So
it can be both this year. He could be a colossal, disappointing, and still very much headed towards a future that includes multiple Pro Bowls and maybe a Super Bowl.
He could.
We're just in an instant gratification society.
I don't disagree with that. So, again, my whole thing on this has been that I believe, and you can tell me I'm wrong, and I totally will accept that. I believe the 49ers hoped they were more sure about him today than they are.
They're hedging. The one undeniable thing is they're hedging.
Like, if I had to boil the last 72 hours down to one sentence, that's my sentence. It has nothing to do with what I think about Trey. It has nothing to do with, I believe the 49ers hoped they were more sure today than they are.
There's no doubt.
That's my sentence.
There's no doubt they're hedging, right? We're in agreement on that. But here's the other thing nobody talks about. Their track record of handicapping the quarterback position sucks.
Not great.
For the most part.
They've
missed on a few guys. They didn't go after Mahomes. They didn't go after Watson. They decided to go with Hoyer. They haven't made every right decision on the quarterback.
They traded a second rounder for Jimmy, and I will forever say that was a hell of a move.
Right, but my point is just that their evaluation with quarterbacks is not like the strength necessarily. They don't have a track record of they hit winners on every quarterback decision they've made.
Agreed.
So if they are hedging here, That doesn't even tell me anything really
No.
about Trey.
Yeah.
We're not going to find out about Trey until he actually hits the field, actually does it, and we get, real NFL games to break down.